is Alex Herter. This is That Architecture Vlog. First episode was about proportions and basic ideas of architectural drawing. In this episode, I would like to continue on these ideas and show you some techniques you can use when you're interested in developing your skills in designing architecture or art in general. Also, I would like to introduce reference images to further explain these ideas or concepts and why or how they have been used in the past and what their meaning today in architecture could be. Okay, let's get started. In the first episode, I talked about the basic divisions of a field or dividing the field with lines, basically just vertical lines as a simple beginning. And at this time I would like to develop this a bit further. When you have this initial field like this, instead of dividing the inside, of course you can also add to the exterior. For example, you add a little base here, which is actually something which you see very often on buildings. And as you can see, it's something completely different, whether you have it recessing like this, or if it stands out a little bit like this. Something very different. So all these little changes here, they have a big impact. And not only you can add on top when you think about a building, also it might be just a middle section of something, and what happens if I add something on top. So that's a very basic layering or stacking of elements, but in its essence very architectonic. So you can go on like this, and it's always important to see what line am I referring to. This was the starting point here. Let's say this is like a ground line, then the base stands out a little bit, then it recedes here, recedes further back. Do I come back to the level of the main element, or do I go out even further? What's the difference? Is there a difference? And so on. Now, when dividing in the horizontal, you can, of course, go back to the division of the field, and it can be interesting to pick up a line. Pick up a line that exists already and sort of pull it down. So, you can see it. It's like a intersection, and you destroy the volume, the three-dimensionality of this middle part is gone now almost. It's almost two things weaving with each other just because the line goes through. So let's say we don't want this and we do it like this. So you see, it's very important, not just do I have elements stacking or in a row vertically, but where do the lines hit each other? Where do they meet? Where do they intersect? Do they intersect or do they end in a certain place? It's something completely different. You can go on adding. So does this mean something? I don't know. Is it a building? Who knows? Could be. It's just lines. Another way, do it a little smaller. Another way is to be more basic, like with volumes, just adding things like this. So do I want another one here? But for me, when I add this like a horizontal line, this always grounds these shapes and makes them more architectonic. Of course, they look like they're sitting on the ground, right? So that's why I often use a line to sort of place them on the ground. I'd like to come back one more time to the idea of structural division as a very crucial element in designing architecture. What I mean by division is what we had before, like you divide an object like this, whether it be a a floor plan or a facade. So dividing means separating in half, in quarters. Dividing by 8, and so on. So, or you do a free division with subdivisions of what you started out with. You take out elements and so on. Dividing is actually the starting point for most architectural structures. So if you go on, you can say, you divide it in horizontal parts too, and you start. Now this is just like a pattern, but beneath it lies a grid which can be thought of as a structural base, as a reference of how the lines in the drawing can translate into architecture. I'd like to show you this facade of the Romanic church in Bazzano in Italy. The lines of the drawing translate into the pilasters. Obviously they have no static load-bearing function. As you can see, there's a massive wall behind them, so they are a decorative element. Nevertheless, they are responsible for the appearance of the facade and contribute in large amount to the architectural expression of the building. In the Romanic style, you often find elements like these, whether it be pilasters, like here in this example, which have the elements of a column, a base, top element, and sometimes the curvature of a column, but in front of a wall. Maybe only half of it is actually visible, and the other half lies hidden in the wall. Well, not actually hidden, but it appears to be hidden in the wall. Or what you see often also are lessines, which are also vertical elements to structure facades, but they don't have the elements of a column. They are more simple. They can be of structural, load-bearing, static function, but often, or most of the times, they are just for architectural expression. Well, thank you for staying with me through this video. I actually had a lot more topics to cover, but then I realized that would take much too long for this video, and I decided to quit here and leave the topics for the next videos. Well, yes, thank you again, and please leave comments below and subscribe to the channel, and see you next time. Bye bye.